Okay, so now I'm going to review the research study aspect of the Coaching with Cal program. Motivation for Coaching with Cal comes from a substantial amount of evidence in education um, suggesting that there are many benefits to offering more personalized and individually tailored instruction. A challenge, however, that teachers often face is that students begin at different levels of ability and they progress at different paces. Students learn differently and encounter different obstacles. And it would be nice to offer more personalized learning and customize the pace of instruction for each student, but this is not always feasible in a classroom setting. On top of that, the pandemic has led to slower improvement in math and reading and has caused a gap in these skills to widen within classes, making it now even more difficult to help all students meet their learning potential. One way to help is by offering supplemental one-on-one tutoring. The evidence from 100 randomized controlled trials over the last 40 years shows convincingly that tutoring is one of the most effective interventions for helping to increase students' performance by complementing classroom instruction with more personalized instruction, allowing students to practice material more at their own pace and receive immediate feedback. But tutoring is also expensive and difficult to scale, so it's not an easy solution to offer to every student. Fortunately, recent experimental evidence indicates that computer-assisted learning software, like Mathia, also offers an opportunity to simulate the tutoring experience and provide more personalized learning to all students. With encouragement from teachers and parents, Mathia has the potential to complement classroom instruction by supporting more practice at students' own pace and offering them immediate feedback and an opportunity to learn from their mistakes. But it needs to be adopted at a high enough dose. Regular practice time is needed to reinforce classroom instruction and give students enough time to make sufficient progress throughout the year. There's a learning curve for using these platforms and using these platforms regularly. And when trying this approach out for the first time, receiving guidance can make implementing this approach much easier. We think that the research evidence supports the potential for regular incremental practice on Mathia to generate not just some benefit in your class, but very impressive gains for all students in a way that can transform their learning experience. The greatest challenge is to get students used to the high dosage routine needed to generate these benefits and provide support if they get stuck. You are in the best position to support in developing this kind of routine. We think that there's a way to support this kind of practice while making the classroom experience enjoyable and not substantially changing the way that you teach. It's worth knowing that we're implementing Coaching with Cal in Chicago Public Schools as a randomized controlled trial so that we can evaluate its benefits. So as you know, we invited all grades 3 through 9 math teachers to participate in Coaching with Cal. About half were selected by lottery to receive Coaching with Cal training and support this year. Other interested teachers will likely have the opportunity to participate next year or the year after, but we only had enough coaches to support about 100 teachers this year. This lottery approach generates a way to test how the Coaching with Cal program benefits your students compared to a similar group of students, the control group, receiving regular instruction. We hope that Mathia practice for students with Coaching with Cal teachers this year will be much higher than those with teachers who do not receive the program, which we'll be able to measure, and we hope this increased practice with Mathia will lead to improvement in test scores and other measures of student success. To maximize the program's benefit and to estimate its average impact, it's important that we try to help every teacher selected into the program and every student in their classes. To tell if the program is working, it's also important that the comparison group teaches as usual this year, meaning that they don't change their classroom setup. This will help ensure we have a credible comparison group for estimating how students receiving coaching with Cal do this year compared to students that do not receive the program. The comparison group will likely have another chance to receive support in future years, and so if possible, it would be helpful for getting a clearer understanding of the program's effects if you could wait a little bit before discussing your experiences with them. While we think the program might ultimately end up saving teachers time, we want to compensate you for the time you spend on the professional development needed to implement the program. You should have already received your $50 thank you gift card for signing up, and you will also receive $125 through CPS's secondary employment process for completing this series of training videos. You'll be compensated for your first meeting with your coach and setting up recurring weekly check-ins, as well as additional compensation for completing the online Mathia training videos.